Hey folks, and welcome to the Salty Seaman, doing a special military media bullshit on everyone's favorite new Marvel miniseries, uh, The Winter Soldier and Falcon, or as I call it, Bucky and Sam show. I really enjoyed it. What a great series. You know, had some issues here and there, but overall, just I really just enjoyed so much about it. The pros overweigh the cons so much, and but I do talk about it on a Discord channel with a bunch of my fellow geeky friends, most of whom are not military. I was getting occasional questions because there's a lot of military stuff going on in here. And as a rule, with the MCU, I don't pay attention to the military stuff because it's so usually background. I know I did the video on Agents of Shield, but it was just because it was just a Navy thing, and it was so egregious. I was just like, what the fudge? And so I had to do that one because it had been in my head and it was a little shorty. This one though, there's a lot to go over. Some things they got really egregiously wrong. Some things they surprisingly got right, and some of it may even be by accident. But some interesting thoughts here, not just on what's right or wrong, but a little theorizing on how things could be different depending on different statuses. And also just trying to uncover, what exactly is Captain America? Because, well, I have a theory on it. So hold on to your seats. And again, and before I start, I apologize for lack of video. What I usually do with these, I have my kid this weekend. So, just trying to get this audio out while I'm thinking about it. Recently inspired to get a little bit more done on the channel. And what better way than now? So hang on to your hats. And let's talk about Bucky and Sam. So I'm going to go into this with the knowledge that spoiler warning, obviously, for the entire series. I just watched the ending this week. Waiting for my to watch it with my kid. So I'm a week behind. So this video is a week behind in terms of catching that immediate algorithm afterwards. But that's cool. I just wanted to get these thoughts out. This was, I think the best way to start is from the first question I got asked, which, and I'm going to go into this assuming spoilers, and you watch the show and you know what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to over explain, but basically, Captain America, who's at this time is John Walker, former Army Special Forces, or still, we'll talk about that. Donning the moniker, killing in the heat of combat, killing a combatant after the death of his partner, in broad daylight in front of everybody, which is, and he ends up him going to a court-martial appearing of a handful of senators, or I don't know if they say it's not a court-martial. Actually, it's this would be a tribunal of some sort, and he's dishonorably discharged, rank and pay strip, blah 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 blah. He's number one. Someone asked me, "Is this how it works?" I'm like, not at all. This is, other than the fact to kick him out of the army, it would take a court martial or a Senate hearing. So we'll give him the Senate hearing. Otherwise it's the wrong terminology for an officer. He is commissioned. He is not enlisted, so you cannot dishonorably discharge him. It's different terminology, and you kind of overlook it because it's what people understand. But no, that entire part is, however it works in the Marvel Cinematic Universe of, really special forces, military ops, I guess. Probably the best way you can chalk that up to anything, because it doesn't resemble anything like real life. And it also brings up the terms of he is wearing 03 tabs as an active duty, and then let's go through this in establishing who's active duty and who's not. So right away we start off with John Walker. And there's one thing I wish I did have notes on, is exactly what rank he was showing in the beginning, because they make the thing where he talks about becoming Captain America, and he's just like, hey, I've been a captain before, that part I have, blah blah blah. But I can't remember, which led to me to assume he's a major, lieutenant colonel, or even colonel, which would make sense for a guy with his record and experience. He would, captain would have been something he long went past. But apparently taking on the mantle of Captain America, as this show's logic would lead me to believe, is you are commissioned as an O3 in the Army. You are literally Captain, Walker, Captain America. Not just a moniker, not just a status or title. No, that is the military officer rank of O3. Okay. So, which means more than likely John got a demotion here. Okay. Again, special because of the status of the moniker, whatever. I'm not going to argue with that. That's, it is what it is for, we're talking about comic book shit here. Again, that part I can accept as long as they keep it internally consistent. So let's bring that up to, the question of at the end of the series, Sam takes on the moniker, and it looks like it's pretty official. Like everyone just accepts like, hey, you are Captain America now, which to me assumes somewhere off screen, we are treated to, a scene where he is reinstated into the Army. Not only that, but as former enlisted senior NCO, he's just now got a commission to an O3 position. Which, we're going to take care of like not being able to get a loan, by the way. So in my opinion, by the show's internal logic, that's what would have to happen if he's taking on the moniker of Captain America, because they're establishing that is an actual O3 rank in the Army. And whatever your position was before that, you're going to that rank, whether it's a nice step up like for Sam or an actual demotion for what it was for John, even though he obviously didn't really care about that part of it. And that also brings up, pay in terms of active duty and enlisted. We're wondering like how much are these guys making, and economy and race is something that plays huge into the show. And they've handled it, I think, in some parts a little clumsily, in other parts really, really well. And I thought this was clever. I know people were criticizing the show for, his inability to get a loan, and he's a mother effing Avenger. And whatever side you take on that is fine. I will say this: if he was an active duty senior NCO, that would have been a moot point. That alone would have co-signed the loan. He has a guaranteed government contract plus years of service as a careerist. However long he's got on his last enlistment. If he was smart, he lined it up with, I just re-enlisted for 6 years. Hey, yo, where's my money? But, they were very smart. Very at the beginning, they say like, hey, you're not in the Army anymore. We don't even really know where you get your money from. And it's brought up at the bank again. I would say, yes, if he was active duty with all the pays he would have been getting, his time in, his status as an Avenger, like he would have been a slam dunk. But because his pay is unstable and nebulous, and whether he's getting it from Tony or he's, some kind of weird government contract work, because we can also establish he's not a government service employee, because, he would be afforded the same, thing as an enlisted senior NCO. I'm like, oh yeah, you got a government job. Yeah, we're going to co-sign this. We'll let you co-sign this loan. So, and then that hand, I think they handle that well. But on the other hand, if by the show's own established logic, if he is not commissioned as an O3 officer, the shows broke their own internal consistency on how their military works, which we've established is a lot different from how ours worked. And then on the other hand, you have, Colonel Rhodes, who, given his status, special pays, rank and all that, he's living, and we assume living around Langley because that's where he works out of. There was that argument if he was maybe out of New York or possibly, but I'm going to assume Langley, Virginia area. And I would, off the top of my head, not crunching all the numbers and, make, and of course, different special pays you can make up whatever the government's giving him for being an Avenger, if anything. But he's definitely getting well over $100K a year. And once Mr. Falcon's established as a, once again, as an O3 in the Army with already his rank and time in, special pays and whatnot, the least 75 grand, I'm thinking, a year. So, yeah. So that part, does get magically solved if you think about it that way in terms of, military pay. In terms of Bucky, there's nothing there. He's not considered in the Army anymore. He is considered, he is a special agent, and he's kind of We saw at the end of the show, where, he's treated with respect, like, one of the guards nods and lets him in, Sergeant Barnes, respecting his military rank, but he was not obviously a sergeant in the Army anymore. That was just kind of a little, hey, I know who you are and I respect you for that. So I think that's about all to say about that. About all I can think about, it's, the Senate stuff with the, we never see a court martial or a lot of, it seems to be like one senator and a bunch of dudes in the military having to deal with that one guy. And and you can chalk it up to being in charge of special military projects or whatever. But anyway, the whole thing is, it's just, it's cut down for, simplicity's sake. It's not, how anything would work. But, as long as they keep their own internal consistency, which to a degree they have a lot of in this show, I'm happy with it. I'm not asking for, this world obviously works different from ours. I don't expect exact military procedure, but just be consistent. I think that'd be my biggest takeaway from the show. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you'd like to hear more stuff like this. Hopefully next time I'll have actual a video to go along with it, and it's not so lazy. But that's all the Salty Seaman's got for now. Excelsior.